Hello to the newbies, welcome back to the veterans. It is time for Ted to talk boxing. Eddy Reynoso, I don't think, is very happy about the fact Terence Crawford is still at the top of ESPN's pound for pound list. And he has said recently, I saw him quoted in an interview, that if you don't have Canelo number one, you're probably Anti-Alvarez. He's going down that route. He's trying to say that if you're even trying to be objectively critical, it's probably coming from a place of bias. And I am saying no to that. There are a few fighters, including Alexander Usyk, who you can make arguments for of why you feel they are pound for pound number one. Now, if you have Canelo number one, that's fine. His argument is quite simple. He has beaten more good to excellent fighters than any other active fighter apart from Manny Pacquiao. He has defeated the highest quantity of top fighters. The counterweight, though, is very simple as well, which is he hasn't always looked so great and dominant against his best opposition. His best opponents are Floyd Mayweather and Gennady Golovkin. And against those guys, he has a loss, a draw, and a very close disputed points victory. Those results in themselves do not scream pound for pound in the conventionally agreed upon sense. Now, Terence Crawford gets a lot of flack for fighting subpar opposition. I think it's gone a bit too far with the way people keep putting the foot in with his record. He did become undisputed at 140 pounds, which does mean something. It's much rarer these days for guys to become undisputed. It's harder than just winning titles at different weights because you can't pick and choose who you fight. You have to fight the champions in that weight to become undisputed. You have to go through something of an assault course to achieve it. Canelo Alvarez is a four-weight world champion, which is a fantastic achievement. It's something that Juan Manuel Marquez did as well, another Mexican. But then, so's Adrian Broner. He's also a four-weight world champion. So you see, it's quite common for people to replicate now these achievements. Winning titles at different weights has become much more common. And thus, it doesn't have the same currency. Canelo Alvarez had the choice to pick someone at 175 pounds. And he chose Kovalev, who had seen much better days, was not the same guy. Would the Canelo Alvarez of 2015, would he have, instead of fighting Miguel Cotto, would he have gone, actually, let's fight Kovalev at a time when Kovalev was really feared and firing on all cylinders? No, definitely not so. You see, context is everything there. The Kovalev victory looks nice. He was still a champion, but really, he was damaged goods. So if you do have Canelo as number one right now, that's fair enough. But he's not miles ahead here. He's only got his nose in front. And he's in a good position. He's 30. He's still very fresh. And with his chin and his defensive abilities, he's just got this reliability about him. But some of the language we hear, whoever is perceived as perhaps the best, there's this emotion in us where we just want to say they are the best thing we have ever seen. And it's resulted in some people, I think, overvaluing Canelo and trying to say, he's on his way to become the best Mexican fighter ever and he's easily the best. And I just don't think these things are really true. They're starting to become inaccurate. The way people are talking about him, this isn't Roy Jones Jr. at his peak, who, of course, easily beat his best opponents.